We got a call to 3620 Lister in regard to an infant that was missing. Once we got here, we contacted both parents. They said that they had last saw their infant daughter asleep in her crib about 10:30 last night. They checked on her at 4 o'clock this morning, and she was not in her crib.
Lisa, you checked in on her around 10:30 Monday night?
Yeah, between the time she went to bed and the time I went to bed.
4 o'clock on Tuesday morning, her mother told authorities that at 10:30 at night, she went around and checked on her children, and she saw that Lisa was asleep in
7 or so, her normal bedtime, and Deborah checked on her before she went to bed at 10:30, and everything was fine.
No. So it's possible you did not check on her before you went to bed at 10:30?
Yeah, but there's no way that anybody could have got in.
And here's the backyard of baby Lisa's house. You can see that light that is on the house right now is coming from a police car that's parked at the bottom of their driveway. This is your direct access from the back of the house, the deck, the backyard, up top, the backyard and the basement, and several windows. You can come straight through here with no obstacles, come right over this short fence, and then you have to make your way back by the barking dog again.
Rolled up.
Could somebody have fit through the frame where it was popped? No. You said it was popped,
No.
Debbie.
Right, nothing makes sense.
Could someone have fit through that?
If they had removed it all the way, but why would you remove it and then push it halfway back? That doesn't make sense. So,
but based on the condition it was in, could someone have gone through that? That you saw?
No.
I'll check it out.
Do you think they came in through that window?
Absolutely.
Do you think so?
Absolutely.
I think so.
and I guess with everything he was saying out loud to me, you know, he thought, you know, wait a minute, you know, Lisa's bedroom door's open, and we always close it when she goes to sleep at night. And he ran back and checked, and he said, he came in the room and he said, where's Lisa? Where's she at? And I said, she.
I had come home, and Deborah had woken up when I got there, and we talked for a couple minutes, and then I asked her, you know, what's going on. She said, what do you mean? And that's when I told her, you know, the lights, the door, the window, and she kind of jumped up out of bed like something was wrong, and that was when I kind of realized that something might be wrong.
In the kitchen, and there was, whenever he woke up, I woke up and he came home, and he said, she's not in the crib, and I said, what do you mean she's not in the crib?
And the lights were on, and was Deborah still sleeping at that point?
Yes, Deborah was actually she was sleeping in our bed with our 5-year-old son. And
that can't be, because she was in the bedroom with her 2 boys.
The room is right next to each other, and I sneak in and make sure, you know, the boys had been awake, and I had went in there and told them they could come sleep in my bed.
I don't know what you're talking about. My son was sleeping with me, and sometimes, you know, I like to. My kids have always, when they're younger, little, slept in bed with me, so I like to do that when I can. And he asked why Michael was there, and I was like, you know, he's sleeping next to me. And
the 2 boys were reportedly sleeping in the same bed with baby Lisa's mom when the toddler went missing.
Waiting to talk to them. We want to hear from the family, but at this point the family says they're not going to say anything until they get the go-ahead from Lisa's dad.
Something we're trying to get answers on. We're trying to get the family to talk, and they really don't want to talk right now. They're telling us until Jeremy Irwin, Lisa's dad, gives them the green light to talk to the media, they are not prepared to talk.
We're waiting to talk to them. We want to hear from the family, but at this point the family says they're not going to say anything until they get the go-ahead from Lisa's dad.
PD has a job to do, the FBI has a job to do, but it's been almost 8 months since we've seen our daughter. We want answers, and we want Lisa.
Felt that that Lisa's mother, Deb, is getting more aggressive. Those are your words. Why do you think that?
Well, she's turning on blame to the media and the police department. Let's look at some facts here. She says she wants answers. Well, then maybe you should go to the police department. October 20th, Joe Tacopino told the police department, "You can't talk to my clients directly unless you go through me." That's October 20th, 2011. The last time they saw the Kansas City police was February 2nd, where they provided no useful information and continue to this day to refuse to be interviewed separately. Now, where is the cooperation?
Since October 8th, so that's a little over a month now, and that they would like to talk to the parents separately. Where does that stand?
You know, I'm baffled by that whole pronouncement.
So, you know, they have these avenues that they're saying, well, we're calling the FBI. It's not the FBI's case. They assisted in this. There's no federal crime. It's not the FBI's case. It's a Kansas City's case.
Yeah.
If you want to talk to the detectives, then you offer cooperation the way they think that they need it. And that means, why are you afraid to be interviewed by yourself?
Attend the briefing.
What we were told is that unless Debbie and Jeremy submit to more interviews by KCPD, that KCPD was not going to allow them to be briefed on the investigation itself. And, you know, we find that offensive.
Police said Deborah Bradley and Jeremy Irwin have made it clear they are not willing to sit down with police.
Contact the Kansas City Police. And if you remember, Megan, when this all broke and your interview broke, the Kansas City Police said that we have to re-interview people now because this breaks up the timeline and opens it up almost 4 hours farther. So they had to re-investigate their actual interviews of not only the Irwins, but the other people involved. And about this time, the Irwins were starting to be unavailable.
Sounds like you and some of the others are saying, you know, yes, we're going to fully cooperate. They spoke back then. But I would think that you'd want the parents in there as often as possible. I mean, that's the perception, right? Is that when child is missing?
Honestly, the perception is really not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the results of this investigation.
But the perception's going to matter in terms of how this investigation plays out.
Watching this right now knows exactly what I'm going to say. You sift through the emotions of people that are suspects, witnesses, and victims because you have to. You don't know them, you don't know what's genuine, you don't know what is acting, you have no idea. You're after the facts. The police are not concerned with tears, they're concerned with the facts and the victim. These two people are not the victims. The baby is the victim, and that is the responsibility of the Kansas City Police Department, not Deborah Bradley and Jeremy Irwin.
What time did you put Lisa down to bed initially?
6:40.
Okay, and that's her normal bedtime?
No, it's usually between 7:30 and 8, but she had been kind of fussy, and I just decided to put her down.
Who went to bed first, Debbie?
Lisa.
Lisa?
I put the boys to bed, and then I went to sleep.
The neighbor was gone when you went to sleep? Okay, and you think that was about 10:30?
And she said, yeah. Damning information that all of a sudden she comes out.
She doesn't think it's that significant because she says she was sitting on the front stoop the entire time. How could somebody get into the house between 6:40 and 10:30 without her knowing?
Well, naturally, she doesn't think it's that vital, but it actually is a very vital admission to the extent that it opens up a 4-hour window of investigative questions. That's the critical point of it.
Megan, for 2 weeks, her stories were consistent. Her neighbors, and I spoke to pretty much all of them, they said she was a great mother, a great parent. No one was condemning her. Everyone was saying, you know, what's going on? Who is this person? Is there a predator out there? Now, given what she's saying and the reverse in the statements and his backing her up when she can't fill in the blanks, now there's real curiosity out there, and for good reason.
But it's not just that there's factual inconsistencies, which the judge points out. There's direct contradictions of material aspects of it.
Are you saying both your phones were taken as well?
Yeah. Three were taken. One wasn't even working, and it was sitting up there next to the other ones. I was reprogramming all the numbers, and all 3 of them were gone.
That is correct, along with the fact that the internet browser was activated 5 times.
CNN correspondent, weren't their phones purportedly disconnected because they hadn't paid their bill?
Yeah, that's what we understand, and there's a
Next phone record that evening shows that somebody attempted to call Deborah's voicemail at 3:17 and 3:22 a.m.
That is correct, along with the fact that the internet browser was activated 5 times, although from the records you can't tell exactly the time that the buttons were pushed to search the internet.
So was the internet successfully accessed, do we know?
I believe so. I don't believe that there would be a record of it.
Okay.
Her husband, not her husband, her fiance Jeremy tried to contact her early in the evening to tell her that he was going to be late coming home. It went direct to the Verizon message, stating that the phone is, not operable. Joseph and myself, that there was an outgoing phone call to Megan Wright that lasted approximately 50 seconds. There's absolutely this phone problem that they had was when the phones were cut off. It could only receive incoming phone calls and incoming texts from early in the afternoon. Joseph and myself, that there was an outgoing phone call to Megan Wright that lasted approximately 50 seconds. There's absolutely.
Bring you the latest. If you have any information on this, you're asked to call the TIPS hotline. That is 816-474-TIPS. Again, FBI, Kansas City, Missouri police are on scene responding to this Amber Alert. We'll bring you the very latest on KCTV5.com
and a search of their house by the F and a search of their house by the F and a search of their house by the F and a search of their house by the F.
Thanks while you're looking after a little baby and 2 little boys. She was sleeping. I don't see the problem in me having my grown-up time.
Down, I mean, I didn't even check around the house. I didn't think to care about any of that. I still don't.
The new affidavit also revealed a strange comment from the baby's mother, who said she didn't initially want to look for Lisa behind the house because, quote, she was afraid of what she might find.
Something we're trying to get answers on. We're trying to get the family to talk, and they really don't want to talk right now. They're telling us until Jeremy Irwin, Lisa's dad, gives them the green light to talk to the media, they are not prepared to talk.
Do you remember going around and turning them off that night? No, I don't remember doing that.
So your only reason to believe that you turned them off is the neighbor telling you she saw them off.
Exactly.
Saw them off.
Exactly.
Were the lights on or off?
I turned them all off.
Morning and woke me up and said all the lights are on in the house. It was a total exaggeration. We had track lighting on in the computer room. I had a little tiny lamp that's literally no bigger than this on in the living room. And then we had a stove light, the above the stove light on, and the talk radio light on. I mean, there was not a whole lot of lights on at all. Our daughter's missing. The last thing we're going to sit there and do is talk about it.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever not been home at night.
But that night, who went to bed?
Is it true that you're getting paid to avoid local reporters?
Not at all.
Then why won't you talk to us?
Because we're grieving.
Regardless of how much she was drinking, or if she was drunk, or if she supposedly blacked out or whatever, it doesn't change who you are and what you do.
As the police are saying, look, we don't have any leads, we don't have any suspects. When you hear that, what is that like for you?
It's not a good feeling, but we get enough people praying about the situation. God has his way of working. Hope for the best.
Are you saying both your phones were taken as well?
Yeah. Three were taken. One wasn't even working, and it was sitting up there next to the other ones. I was reprogramming all the numbers, and all 3 of them were gone.
CNN correspondent, weren't their phones purportedly disconnected because they hadn't paid their bill?
Yeah, that's what we understand, and there's a
Joseph and myself, that there was an outgoing phone call to Megan Wright that lasted approximately 50 seconds. There's absolutely.
Well, pretty much the only thing that I'm guilty of is drinking too much. And even when she comes back, that's something that I have to live with. That I might have heard something and been able to stop them.
anything because I had nothing to do with anything.
Were you drinking a lot that night?
I was drinking, but it has nothing to do with my daughter's disappearance.
Based on what you know about your neighbor who was out of town, if the sprinklers were moved, you would assume that he was there to move the sprinklers because he was the one taking care.
Doing a thorough search in this house.
Deborah Bradley admitted she was drinking from this wine box the night her daughter disappeared. Her shifting timeline and comments have...
On Monday night or Tuesday morning, our daughter Lisa was taken from our home.
Today in the midday Missouri.
On Monday night or Tuesday morning, our daughter Lisa was taken from our home.
Today in the midday Missouri.
So when did you find out there was something wrong?
Monday morning, a little before 5.
Today, police returned to the house where she was last seen Monday night.
Irwin's parents say they last saw the infant safe in her crib Monday night and called...
Officers storming into the room and saying to you, she did it. The mother of this child did it. Did you have a nanosecond of doubt at any point?
No, there's never any doubt in my mind.
Maybe she tried to cover it up afterwards.
No, the first time I even thought that was when the people or the police had started asking us about it.
Enough we can do to keep a child's face out there when they've disappeared. And so media is such a powerful tool. To be able to utilize them as much as possible is really one of the best things that her family could be doing right now.
For the first time this morning, we're also hearing exclusively from Bill Stanton, a private investigator and former New York City police officer.
This right now knows exactly what I'm going to say. You sift through the emotions of people that are suspects, witnesses, and victims because you have to. You don't know them, you don't know what's genuine, you don't know what is acting, you have no idea. You're after the facts. The police are not concerned with tears, they're concerned with the facts and the victim. These two people are not the victims. The baby is the victim, and that is the responsibility of the Kansas City Police Department, not Deborah Bradley and Jeremy Irwin.
And make a statement, because one of the most important things in cases like this, in cases with missing children, is keeping the story fresh in the public's mind and making you at home aware and caring enough to spot anything that you might see different, to hope that you call in, because any small detail could mean a break in the case.
And bring you the latest. If you have any information on this, you're asked to call the TIPS hotline. That is 816-474-TIPS. Again, FBI, Kansas City, Missouri police are on scene responding to this Amber Alert. We'll bring you the very latest on KCTV5.com as
Tell me that you didn't say goodbye.